I'd like to just cover a few Q&A questions because sometimes people do ask, do your scores change? So your scores can change, especially during a transitional period, like maybe the pandemic was a transitional period, when you have to work a lot harder, when your circumstances change, or maybe when your job scope changes, you will tend to start doing things very differently. And your type scores will start to change. But it's not like your personality changes. Your personality does not change. But the way you look at life starts to change during a transitional period. Hence, when you answer a test, the way you answer the test is going to be different based on how you look at life. So we can't escape these aspects in life. And so that's the only reason why your scores are going to change. So don't ever think your personality changes massively. It does not. But your response to life circumstances will shift during those transitional periods. And then it will come back to normal when things start to end or things start to change. Like, for example, now the pandemic is kind of finishing and your life will kind of get back to normal again. So that's when you start to see your essence reappear. Another question that's frequently asked is, what if most of my scores are on the unhealthy zone, or what we call the less developed scores? Don't worry, I think we all go through a time where the way we think or the way we've been brought up sometimes has been quite tough. So the way we look at life sometimes can be quite restricted, or maybe we feel quite angry with ourselves because we've always been kind of criticized. So there are many reasons why we may have less developed scores. Perhaps also you've been working so hard that you forgot about looking into your life and introspecting and doing things that help you balance up your life. Most important thing is to focus on your core score. While I won't get into exercises here, but you can always write to me on granville@eqworld.com, GRANVILLE @eqworld.com. And I'll share with you 1 or 2 tips in terms of how you can bring yourself to the healthy side. I can't give too much information because if you attend the class, then it's a lot easier. But otherwise, don't be too affected. The other thing you could do is you can Google, right? How do I become a healthier version of Enneagram 7? What are healthy things I can do for the Enneagram type 5, right? So you can always Google, literally say whatever you are looking for, and that's the best place for you to find some answers as well, okay? Another question that's frequently asked is, how often should I do the test? I would not recommend you do it too often, but once in 6 months is good, provided if supposing your scores have been a bit low or unhealthy or what we call less developed, and you have consciously chosen to do something about it. So how you live your life is how equates to how you think, and how you think equates to how you feel. So if you made some considerable or conscious changes to how you live your life or how you look at life, and what are you doing to consciously change some behaviors and attitudes, then it's good to have an indicator about 4 to 5 months down the road or 6 months to see your scores, whether you are really on track. Because when you do your test, you may think that you can actually remember how you answered before, but the answer is no, because there are 162 questions. The way you answer it would have been quite different the next time you do it, especially if it's 6 months down the road. So it's good to know whether you're on track with being a better version of yourself. So hence 6 months to a year, obviously it's a good time. But if you feel nothing has changed, you've not taken action, you've not chosen to adjust some of your habits, then I would not advise you to take the test again until you've made some very conscious changes. All right, so we've come to the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If there are any questions, please email me on granville@eqworld.com, Granville, GRANVILLE @eqworld.com. I've given as much as I could on this presentation. Of course, there's a lot. We've got a 1-day version, we've got a 2-day version, we've got a 4-day version certification, and all we did was just exceed an hour on this presentation. So please Google as well. If you want to find out something specific, just Google and you should be able to find some answers as well. Thank you very much. This is Granville signing off, and hopefully you benefited from this. Bye-bye.